Okay, so during the maintenance portion, we are going to talk about how to maintain each of your IDEXX analyzers. You do have maintenance logs that can be printed off on the idexx.com/library that talks you through what do you do daily, weekly, monthly, but we're going to go through it today, that way you know. So with the vet lab station, it will pop up with a reminder for you to restart it once a week and then also to back up your information. So that's actually the last thing we're going to do because we want to have ran all our quality control and then we'll come back over here and back up our info and restart everything. So with the laser sight, once a week you are going to clean the fan filter. The fan filter lives down here. You're going to pull that out and it is kind of a tight fit, but you'll notice that it does have some dust on the bottom. So we are going to blow that out with some canned air. And it's super important that we do this off screen. I'm not actually going to do it because I don't want to actually walk off screen, but you want to, it's not super important that you do that away from the analyzers, not off screen. You won't be on screen. So you want to walk away from the analyzers over to the garbage to blow this out. You don't want to do it here because you don't want the other analyzers sucking in all the dust that you're blowing out. Okay? So I'm not actually going to do that, but to put it back in, you're just going to insert it here. And it's kind of a tight fit, so it's going to push in kind of hard. The only other thing with this analyzer then is just to make sure that you're restarting your vet lab station once a week, because by doing that, it actually will restart this as well and refresh the communication. Okay? So next we have our catalyst. This is a little more involved. It requires a once a month cleaning and quality control. So to clean this analyzer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the catalyst icon on my vet lab station, and I'm going to tap on quality control. Oops, excuse me. No, it's not doing it. Catalyst. What? Well, we're going to do it the old school way. We're going to tap on Tools, Clean Analyzer. So it's got step-by-step instructions on the screen to talk you through what it wants you to do. You will need to have IDEXX provided alcohol wipes, and then also IDEXX provided optical tissue. You don't want to use over-the-counter alcohol wipes because a lot of them contain sodium bicarb, and that's really harsh on the optics that are in the analyzer. And you don't want to use chem wipes because they're a lot more harsh than these optical tissues. So if you run low on these or run out, call the customer support number and they will send you more for free at any time. We want you to use our stuff. So it's telling me on the screen to open the maintenance access doors. So there's a little lever here that I'm actually going to press up and then press straight down. And then to open these doors, I'm going to take 2 fingers and lift straight up. So now it wants me to remove any sample cups or whole blood separators. If there were any sample cups or whole blood separators, they would be under what we call these black carriers here. And so I'm just going to kind of gently move them up and look underneath, and there's nothing in there currently. I'm going to remove and clean the black carriers and white centrifuge shield. So the black carriers just lift straight out, and I'm going to set them on the counter in front of me. And the white centrifuge shield is going to lift straight up and come straight out. So to clean these, I'm going to take my alcohol wipe, and I'm just going to wipe off the inside of each of them, because that's where, if you were using a whole blood separator, blood would get splattered. So I'm going to clean the inside and wipe any dust or debris off the top as well. And then I'm going to clean the inside of the centrifuge shield. Okay. Now I'm going to lift the sample drawer assembly and remove the carousel. This whole piece here is my sample drawer assembly. So to lift that, I'm going to put my fingers on either side, and I'm going to take my thumb and press this plastic piece back off of the screw. That will allow me to raise this up all the way to the top, and it's actually on a hinge so that it'll stay at the top when it gets there. You do not want to put your fingers under the pinchers because you can end up breaking them or bending them and affect how they pull the slides in. So I'm going to lift straight up and it will stay there. So the carousel is this green handle thing in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fingers underneath, and they don't give you a whole lot of room. I kind of have man hands too. So fingers underneath, I'm going to lift straight up and pull straight out. And this is your carousel. The only thing on the carousel that you don't want to touch is this white reference tile. So I'm going to set this upside down or on the green handle on top of the analyzer so that I'm not messing with it right now. So it's telling me using an IDEXX supported alcohol prep pad, I'm going to wipe the incubator ring track in a counterclockwise direction. So if you think of this as the railing of the track makes a perfect circle in the analyzer. There are 2 optic windows at what would be 11 and 2 if it was a clock that was laid just in there and flat. When we wipe around, we are actually going to jump over those optic windows so that we're not dragging all of the stuff we're wiping across the optic windows. So I'm going to take my alcohol wipe. And each time I go around, I'm going to use a clean portion of the wipe, and you're just going to continue to go around, jumping over the optics until you're not getting any dust or debris back. So I'm going to set this on the incubator ring track, and I'm going to wipe counterclockwise. Counterclockwise is the way the slides go around, so you want to make sure you are going counterclockwise as well. So get to my first optic, and I'm going to jump over it, jump over the next, and you notice I'm going to unfold and go around again. You're just going to keep doing that until you don't get anything back. Making sure to jump over the optics each time. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my alcohol wipes and I'm going to go directly into those optics. I'm going to clean them individually with a clean portion of the alcohol wipe. I'm going to go directly to one and just kind of gently buff it in a circular motion. And then I'm going to take a clean portion and go to the other one and gently buff it in a circular motion as well. So once we've done that, then we are going to take our optical tissue and we're going to go in and we're going to dry around the track to make sure that there's nothing streaked on or no wet spots left. So I'm just going to cover up my finger and kind of wipe around counterclockwise. Okay. The other thing we need to do is we need to clean the white reference tile on the carousel. So I'm going to take another alcohol wipe, and don't be afraid to use as many as you need to. Like I said, we'll send you more. I'm going to gently buff my white reference tile. And then I'm going to take another optical tissue and I'm going to dry it. Okay. So now we're actually all the way down to number 8, and we're going to replace the carousel and lower the sample drawer assembly. So now is when we're going to put everything back in. So it does not matter how the carousel is oriented when you put it back in. There are arrows that let you know where that white reference tile is, so you do not grab it when you're going to stick it back in. But what you want to do is you want to stick your fingers under the green handle and come in high, and then this back end here, you want to pull it underneath the railing and then shimmy it around and it'll fall down in. Okay? Then we are going to lower that sample drawer assembly that we lifted up, so you're going to grab it on the sides and pull straight down. And you want to push the plastic piece back before you get it all the way down, so it will catch the screw and hold itself down. Then we're going to put our white centrifuge shield back in. So if you notice, it has a ridge on the side and an arrow. It's kind of hard to see in here, but there is a ridge on the side of the black holder that holds it in here. So I'm going to make sure that those line up, and then it will snap down into place. So it should fall right down in. With your black carriers, it does not matter if you forgot which side they go on. They're interchangeable. But what you want is the open part from the bottom to be towards the front. There's a prong at the front and a prong at the back. And there's a hole at the front and a hole at the back on each side. You're just going to set those right on top. So, okay. So now we are going to close our maintenance access doors. And it's a little bit backwards of what you think it would be. You're actually going to take the little bar that we pressed up and down. You're going to press it all the way down and hold it. And then you're going to snap it all the way up. And don't worry if they don't come down all the way or if they come down uneven, because what it's going to do now is it's going to check its optics and reinitialize itself and warm back up to an internal temperature, and so it's going to open and close the doors and fix itself. So once the doors have closed, go ahead and hit done, and don't close the doors and immediately hit done. Give it a 1 to 2 second leg so that it's got time to catch up and realize the doors have closed. Otherwise it'll throw itself into a loop and think that the doors are open. So I'm going to hit done. So now what it's going to do is it's going to check the optics, it's going to write itself, and then it will tell us whether or not we cleaned it successfully. Okay. So that's going to take it a few minutes. Just a reminder when you're doing this, the longer the doors are open, the longer it's going to take to come back up and be ready. So the first few times you do this, give yourself a good 15 to 30 minutes before it's going to be ready to use again. Okay? There is also a fan filter on the back of this analyzer. It is on this side. If you reach in, you can feel it. It only needs to be checked once every 3 months. And you're going to just slide it out. And you're going to walk away from the analyzers, blow it out with canned air, and then bring it back and slide it back in. And it sits in brackets on the back. Okay? The touch screens on each of these, you want to make sure if you're going to clean these that the analyzers are off when you do so. If you go to clean them with the analyzers on, you'll actually could end up confusing it because there's so much touch going on. And just use any normal touchscreen computer cleaner that you would use on your other computers. Okay, so there is no maintenance requirement for the coag. There is no cleaning other than wipe it off, keep it clean. And as far as the snapshot, there is no cleaning requirement for that as well, other than wipe it off if it becomes dirty, you know, and just keep it generally in a clean order. There is no quality control for this one either. And there's actually no quality control for the coag because it actually does a self-check every time you run a cartridge through it. So once this comes back up, then we'll go ahead and run our quality control. So let me explain to you about the quality control for the catalyst. So the quality control for the catalyst is what we call Vetrol. It lives in the freezer. It comes in packages of 4, so there'll be 4 sets of an amber vial and a clear vial. You need to set them on the counter to thaw for 60 to 90 minutes. And then what we're going to do is we are going to remove the caps and the metal and rubber stoppers from each one. Want to make sure that we mix our liquid. And we're going to take exactly 3 cc's of the clear liquid and put those into the powder. You want to use a 3 cc syringe with no needle. Let me get any air bubbles out. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the rubber stopper back on the amber vial and we're going to mix this. Give it a good 10 inversions. So now this needs to mix for 45 minutes before you can run it. We're going to fudge that a little today. But this is the most important thing when going to run your quality control. You need to make sure that you're exact in the amount of time that it's thawed, in how you mix it, and the amount of time that you let it mix before you run it. If your quality control would ever end up abnormal, the first thing they're going to ask you when you call into customer support is, how did you mix up your quality control? You know, they want to rule out that maybe there was an issue with this as opposed to something wrong with the analyzer first, just to make sure that we don't have a bad set of quality control. Okay? Once the analyzers come back up after cleaning, it's going to ask you to empty the waste drawer because it wants to start with a clean slate. So I'm going to empty that. Okay, so to run quality control, I am going to tap on my catalyst and tap on quality control. So it will list all of the lot numbers of Vetrol that are available currently. So thank you. So, sorry. Our lot number will be on the amber vial. So this one says lot K4433. So we're going to find that lot number on here. We're going to tap on it and we're going to tap on Run QC. So now that's sent this over to the catalyst just like it's a patient that we're going to run. So you want to make sure that this has been mixing for 45 minutes, which it has. So we're going to tap on our QC patient and we're going to tap on load. So then what it's going to do is it's going to open our drawer and it's going to tell us to load a catalyst sample cup containing 300 microliters of properly prepared Vetrol into the sample drawer. So we are going to take one of our sample cups. And I'm going to take my 300 microliter pipetter and one of my tips. I'm going to press my tip on firmly Make sure that my sample's well mixed. Depress my plunger. 300 microliters. Slowly into my cup. You're shooting for no air bubbles with any sample that you put in here. And I got 2. Okay. I'm going to set the sample in my sample drawer. Before I lay my pipetter down, best practice anytime you're using these is to remove your tip before you lay it down or turn it upside down. You don't want sample to run back into the pipetter because it can actually affect the accuracy of it. And that goes for any of these. So, lay that down. So now it's telling me to load a light 4 clip and a QC clip. So the quality control clip does not contain any electrolyte values, so that's why it's going to have us run an electrolyte clip at the same time. So I'm going to open my electrolyte clip because remember it's the most sensitive. I can touch it anywhere. Don't eat the insert. So you want IDEXX up. There's a handle on the side that I'm going to pop out and hang on to. So I'm going to start from the top, slide straight down, pull straight back. Then I'm going to take my QC clip and I'm going to put that right over the top. Same thing. I can touch it anywhere. I want the IDEXX up. I'm going to pop out the handle. I'm going to hang on to that, start from the top, slide straight down, pull straight back. These are cut too so that you cannot put them on upside down. So keep that in mind. So I have my sample, I have my slides. I'm now going to tap on run. So that's going to run. When it's done, it will print the results, or excuse me, it won't print the results. It will send the results back to the vet lab station, and so long as everything is in the normal range, we're good. If anything would be high or low, you're going to want to contact customer support, and they'll talk you through some troubleshooting. Mainly, was this mixed appropriately? Did you clean it? What values are out of range? So forth. Okay? All right. So now we wait. Okay, so once your quality control on the catalyst is done, your results will be on the vet lab station. So it's going to say Vetrol and then the lot number. So if I tap on that and tap on view, it shows me all of my analytes and then whether it was normal, low, or high. Like I said, if anything were low or high, you're going to want to call customer support and they'll talk you through how to troubleshoot that. Okay, so now that we've performed all of that, the last thing we want to do is we want to back up our information on the vet lab station, and then we want to restart everything. And you want to do this once a week because you want it to refresh its communication with the vet lab station, but also you want to refresh your communication with IDEXX. So these analyzers are all connected to IDEXX via the internet. The little icon at the top of the screen here that's 2 arrows and a green dot is called Smart Service, and that's how we are able to remote into the analyzers and help you troubleshoot any issues or take a look at your results and help you, fix anything or tell you, well, this error happened, you need to do this. So you always want to make sure that after we restart this, that this green dot comes back green. If it was red or black, you would want to call support and they'd talk you through getting it back online. And that all of your icons down at the bottom come back green as well. So to back up our information, we want to use a CDR. And the nice thing is you can use the same CDR over and over and over until it tells you it's full. If you use a CDRW, you will be constantly rewriting over everything you've saved, so you do not want to do that. So we're going to tap on Instruments, Backup Data. It will pop open our disk drive. We're going to insert the CD and close the drive. We're going to wait for the green flashy light to stop flashing, and then we're going to hit Next. Sounds silly, I know, but for some reason if you hit Next right away, it finishes the disk and it won't let you put any more on. Okay, so now we're going to tap on Next. So now that's going to back up any of the runs that you've done and all of the calibration info and quality control info onto this disk. That way, if something would happen, say the computer crashes or you guys have a big electrical storm and it fries the computer, at least you have a week's back worth of all the information that you've ever ran on this analyzer to put on any new one that we would send you. Okay. So it usually only just takes a couple minutes. Okay. Even though it says finalizing disk, it's not finalizing so that you can't add more stuff. It's just finalizing this portion. Okay, and then when it's done, we can tap on finish, and it will pop open the disc. You can write the date that it was last backed up on the disc itself. And then what we're going to do is we are going to restart everything. So to restart everything, we are going to start with our catalyst, and we are going to tap on tools, and we're going to tap on shut down. It's going to ask me, are you sure you want to shut down the analyzer? I'm going to say yes. It says you may now shut down your analyzer. The power switch for the catalyst is on the back, on the bottom, about 3 inches in, and you'll run into the power cord, and it's a little switch right next to it, and you're just going to switch it off. Then I'm going to do the same exact steps to power off my snapshot. So I'm going to tap on tools, shut down. It's going to say, are you sure you want to shut down? I'm going to say yes. Now it's telling me you may shut down your analyzer. The power switch for this one, if you put your hand on the top and slide it straight back, you'll run right into it and flip it off. The COA, I'm going to press and hold the start button down. That's going to shut down. So I do not actually need to power off the laser sight, because when I restart this vet lab station, it's actually going to restart and refresh the communication with the laser sight as well, because it is directly connected to the vet lab station. So now that all of my other analyzers are off, I'm going to tap on the power button here, and I'm going to tap on restart. And what that's going to do is going to turn it off and turn it right back on. Usually just takes a few minutes for it to come back up. Okay, phew, all right. So once it comes back up, you want to make sure that your Smart Service icon has the green dot, your Practice Information Management Software icon is green, and then we're going to start turning on the rest of our analyzers. You'll notice that the laser sight has already started to do a little bit of a flush, so once it's reset itself, it's going to flush fluid through itself to make sure all of its limes are primed and ready to go. So then we're just going to go down the line and start turning stuff back on. So I'm going to flip the power switch on for the catalyst, and then I am going to do the same with the snapshot. And then I'm going to press and hold the start button for 2 seconds on the COAG. And then all this stuff will come back on, start up, and when we get our green icons, they'll be ready to use. And that's the maintenance for the vet lab station and all the analyzers.